Hey everyone, and welcome to today's Explainer. So, today we are going to completely rethink how you approach your wealth. Too often we see people just kind of collecting random financial products over the years. You buy a policy here, open an account there, and there's no real cohesion to it. Well, today we're throwing out that piecemeal approach. Instead, we're going to look at comprehensive financial planning as a structural, cohesive roadmap. Think of it exactly like building a house. You definitely don't start with the roof, right? You start with a rock-solid foundation. Let's look at how to build yours. Okay, let's dive into this framework. Our agenda covers the 5 core pillars of security. We'll start with the total financial picture, move into managing financial risks, then the investment advisory process, funding your ideal retirement, and finally, leaving a lasting legacy. Starting with Section 1, the total financial picture, where we build that foundation. See, true financial security isn't just about picking a hot stock or buying some trendy new product. It really requires stepping back and looking at the absolute big picture. To bring this to life, check out this quote from financial advisor Terrell Engelman. He actually approaches financial planning the exact same way he approaches his volunteer work as a youth sports coach. He says it's about guiding clients much like athletes by helping them recognize their strengths, set goals, and take actionable steps toward success. And honestly, that perfectly illustrates why you need a roadmap and frankly, why you need a coach. You need personalized strategies designed to increase your spendable income, protect your assets, and minimize your taxes, all based on your own unique strengths and goals. And that brings us to the core philosophy of comprehensive planning. It's a direct, independent approach. It basically means assessing your current situation to focus entirely on your individual goals rather than just pushing financial products. Before we build the house, we literally have to survey the land, pour the concrete, and truly understand your unique financial baseline. Let's move to Section 2, managing your financial risks, also known as the protection pillar. This is the defense side of the equation. Because, look, you cannot systematically grow your wealth without first securing it against life's unpredictable storms. And speaking of unpredictable storms, take a look at this staggering number. According to the census data from our sources, out of 13 million families, almost 1 in 5 households has a head of household living with a disability. That's 20%. Most of us really don't want to think about disability income insurance until it's far too late, mostly because we just don't believe it's going to happen to us. But the math tells a very different story. So I really want you to ask yourself this right now. If you suddenly lost your income tomorrow, how would you pay your bills? Would you borrow the money? And if so, from who? Would you try to dip into Social Security, knowing full well you might have to wait a whole year to even qualify under their super strict definitions? Or would you just drain your savings and maybe give up a child's education fund or your own retirement? This is exactly why disability income insurance is such a vital solution. It protects your income so you can actually focus on your recovery rather than facing bankruptcy. And what's really fascinating here is that the evidence shows disability is actually on the rise, sometimes even outpacing mortality. Look at heart disease, for example. It causes death in 29% of cases, but leads to disability in 44% of cases. Diabetes, a 27% death rate versus a 36% disability rate. Modern medicine is saving our lives, which is absolutely wonderful, but it leaves a lot of us living with disabilities that prevent us from working. And living a long life introduces another massive risk: long-term care. This is literally the greatest health expense older Americans face. A lot of people mistakenly think Medicare is just going to cover them. But Medicare really only provides short-term recovery benefits, like skilled nursing care right after a hospitalization. It definitely does not pay for, say, 8-hour shifts of at-home care. Without a plan, long-term care can just utterly delete a family's hard-earned assets. To wrap up this protection pillar, we absolutely have to talk about individual life insurance. People so often think its sole purpose is just a death benefit. But look at the versatility here. A permanent, well-funded policy offers tax-deferred cash accumulation, access to that cash value, and even potential protection from creditors during financial hardships, like lawsuits. Some policies will even allow advances for terminal illness. It's a highly dynamic tool for your defensive strategy. All right, Section 3, the investment advisory process, or as we like to call it, the accumulation engine. Okay, so we've built the foundation and put up our defensive walls. Now, we go on offense. If our financial plan is a house, this investment process is the electrical and heating engine powering the whole thing. And achieving financial success in today's complex world demands real discipline. Don't think of this as a static set-it-and-forget-it picture. It's a dynamic, continuously moving engine. Step 1 is developing an investor profile. Step 2 is building a portfolio. And step 3 is ongoing management. It's a living, breathing cycle. Let's break down step 1. Developing an investor profile is your absolute blueprint. Before a single dollar is ever invested, you have to establish clear objectives, determine your exact risk tolerance, and set your time horizon. Are we investing for a goal that's 5 years away or 30 years away? This detailed outline drives absolutely everything that follows. Once that profile is locked in, we move dynamically into step 2, building a portfolio. This is where your customized strategy really comes to life. It involves precise asset allocation to match the risk tolerance we just talked about, the selection of highly skilled professional investment managers, and crucially, integrating a tax strategy so you actually keep more of what you earn. This totally elevates your portfolio far beyond those simple one-size-fits-all strategies. And the engine keeps turning with step 3, ongoing management. The crucial point here is that a portfolio cannot just sit on autopilot. It requires continuous review and rebalancing to make sure it stays perfectly aligned with your life as it changes. It involves rigorous fund due diligence and ongoing tax strategy reviews. This disciplined, cyclical engine is exactly what helps protect and grow your wealth over the long haul. Moving on to section 4, funding your ideal retirement, which is all about reaching the goal. Because think about it, what is the ultimate purpose of that accumulation engine we just built? It's bridging the gap to a comfortable lifestyle, right? Securing a confident retirement on your own terms. The goal for most is replacing 70 to 85% of your pre-retirement income. But the reality? Social Security and pensions often fall drastically short of that mark. Personal savings and structured investments are the essential bridge you need to close that gap. You really need to know exactly when you want to retire, how much you're going to need, and what potential risks, like health expenses, could eat into those funds. Finally, section 5, leaving a lasting legacy. This is the roof of your financial house. Now, for a bit of a heavy warning, when most people think of taxes, they just think of income tax, but estate taxes can actually be the largest single tax you'll ever face, basically making Uncle Sam your uninvited and very expensive heir. Without proper estate planning, you could lose more than half of what you have spent a lifetime building. An estate plan ensures an organized, timely transfer of your assets, provides immediate income for your survivors, and creates liquidity so your family isn't forced to sell off assets at a huge loss just to pay off those taxes. But legacy isn't just about family, right? It's also about your community. For charitable giving, one highly effective tool is a donor-advised fund, or a DAF. It's an irrevocable gift to a public charity that offers an incredibly simple, flexible, and efficient way to manage your philanthropic goals, all while maximizing your tax deductions. The beauty of a donor-advised fund really is its simplicity. It's just give, grow, grant. You give an irrevocable contribution, often starting at just $10,000, and you immediately receive the maximum tax deduction allowed by the IRS. The money then grows as it's managed in your named DAF account. Then, on your own timetable, you grant those funds by recommending disbursements to your favorite qualified charities. It completely separates the tax decision from the actual grant-making decision, which puts you in total control. Real quick before we wrap up, we absolutely have to acknowledge our business owners. If you own a business, your personal and professional finances are inextricably linked together. Legacy planning for you also means business exit planning, succession planning, and executive benefit consulting. You have to model out those future benefits, manage your business risks, and ensure a smooth transition that protects your life's work. Well, we've covered the total picture, risk management, the dynamic investment process, retirement, and legacy. So I'm going to leave you with this final provocative thought. Is your financial foundation robust enough to support your family's lasting legacy? If there are cracks in your foundation or maybe some missing shingles on your roof, right now is the time to find a coach, look at the big picture, and take actionable steps. Thank you so much for joining me for this explainer, and I truly hope this roadmap empowers you to build your financial house with absolute confidence.